Yo, what's going on? This is another episode of Square Up, and I am your host, Andre Berto. And today's guest, it's a big brother of mine, man, a guy that definitely helped me make that transition from the amateur to the pros, man. Former, undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world, Winky Wright. What's going on, my boy?
Chilling, my
Good seeing you, my guy.
Young bird.
Been a long time, man. Listen, we got some stories, but let's go ahead and just dive up in it, man. We got a lot to try to cover. So, I mean, you've always, represented St. Pete to the fullest, and of course it is home, but that's not where your journey began at for you. DC.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Tell me a little bit about DC.
Definitely
Just
DC.
you growing up in DC with your grandparents and things of that nature.
Yeah, DC is where I was born and raised, you know what I'm saying? And I love DC. It showed me, that really where I started my boxing in the neighborhood in DC.
Really?
My little friends, you know what I'm saying? I used to always watch Sugar Ray Leonard. I was like, damn, I want to be like Ray Leonard. Bro.
Even back then.
Yeah, Ray was a bad boy. Ray was like, I said, man, I want to be like that. So I would go and wrap my hands with socks and shit, and then take my mother clothes, because in DC we used to have like clotheslines. You have to hang your clothes up on a clothesline. So I would pop the clotheslines and make a little jump rope, watch Sugar Ray Leonard, and learn how to do. That's how I learned how to jump rope and all that.
No.
So yeah, I just I love boxing back then, but I always was playing other sports. I was playing football, basketball, baseball. But I was so short. So in DC, man, when I left DC, I just finished the 10th grade. I was like 5 feet tall.
Really?
After the 10th grade.
After the 10th grade.
I moved to Florida. That summer, I grew from 5 feet to like 5'7", and then I grew to like 5'11", right? And then that, so all the people back home in DC, they didn't know that was me, because they remember me as a little dude, and then they see this taller dude. They're like, that ain't Wink. And then it was just different, and it just everything worked out.
But how you got that name, Wink, man? Of course, all of us call you that. You know what I mean? And it just kind of stuck. For a while, to be honest, bro, I didn't even know your real name.
I
didn't even know your real name.
Teachers,
How did you
listen,
get the
my
name
teachers.
Winky?
And everybody called me Winky. My grandmother gave me that.
Teachers and everybody called
when I was growing up in DC, everybody called me Winky. Nobody called me Ronald. So my grandmother gave me that name, you know what I'm saying, when I was a baby, and it just stuck with me. So I had my uncle, his name was Weenie, and he was like 2 months older than me.
Weenie?
So Weenie and Winky. So it was two, Weenie and Winky. Yeah. Everybody knew Weenie and Winky. We was together like this.
But where she got that from? Where did she get that Winky?
I guess I winked when I was, I just winked, and that was Winky, and that was it. Winky. Everybody, Winky that was it. So my teachers everybody called me Winky, I promise you. And then, when I moved to Florida, then that's when, the Ronald came, because people would go by my name. They would call me in school, but then I'll tell you that ain't my name. No, you call me Winky. So
it's crazy. It's crazy how you say that, right? Because like I said, that was kind of like my story too, because everybody back home, they called me Mike.
Yeah.
Everybody called me Mike.
Yeah.
That's where I was raised.
Yeah.
That's my middle name.
Yeah.
But that's what my parents called me.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody back home in Polk County, they call me Mike Berto.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm moving around, I hear somebody call me, I know they know me from back home.
Yeah, Mike.
And as soon as I really start getting on the main stage and getting ready for the Olympic trials, things of that nature, they had to use my real name. So now in the papers, they using Andre Berto. Nobody knew who that was. They thought I had a brother. They want to know who this dude was.
You do got a brother though.
Yeah, brother. They thought I had another brother named Andre that was boxing. Like, nah. That's me. So, so I understand. Like I say, you're struggling in that sense. So I could say, you were in DC, for a nice bit of time. And how old were you when you made that move over to St. Pete?
So I was born and raised in DC. I moved to St. Pete when I was 15, about to turn 16, like 2 months before I turned 16. So I moved down here that summer. I started going to school that next year. So my 11th grade year, I started going to school. And then I was going out for I wanted to play basketball, so I was going out for the basketball team. But like in Florida, you can't live in one zone and play basketball
Yeah.
for another school
Yeah,
zone.
yeah.
So I was living in a school zone, and then I was going to another school. So when I went out for the team, they said, "Hey, you can't play because you live in that school zone." I'm like, "What?" So I was like, "Cool," but that was the best thing that ever happened because one of the kids that was in my class, he was like, "Hey, I box and this and that, and I always wanted to box." And it's
Really?
like, that's how I started. He said, "I box, man." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Where?" And he told, it's like right around the corner from my house. So I was like, "What?" I said, "I'm gonna come over there and see." So I came over there and I went into the gym. I seen the first day, and then I think I came back like a week later, and then shit, like 2 weeks later, I won the Golden Gloves. So I 2 weeks
Just
later, I
like
wanted to
that?
go to, and the rest was history, man. The rest of the day, I had like, listen, dog, I was amateur for 2 years. So from 16 to 18, I was amateur.
Yeah.
I had almost 60 fights.
WrestleMania is legendary, but with the Priority Pass buy on location, you get closer than ever to every unforgettable moment. From VIP pre-show parties to meet your favorite superstars to stepping into the iconic ring for a photo. Plus, exclusive gifting and WWE World Access. Every detail is crafted to make your WrestleMania weekend truly next level. This is the premium experience reserved for Priority Pass members only, where you just don't watch the action, you live it closer than ever. Don't miss out and visit onlocationexp.com/WWE to purchase your package now. Let's go.
Okay.
So I was fighting like all the time. I was fighting all the time.
Okay.
And then, what I'm saying, it just kept going. And then, like I say, when I was 18, I had the U.S. Olympic Festival. I won the gold medal, and they didn't let me go to the Goodwill Games. So box off. So I'm like, y'all ain't gonna let me go. Okay, I ain't gonna box anymore. So I said, forget boxing, cause like I never thought I'd be a professional boxer. I was just boxing for the heck of it.
Just for the
just having fun. I got to meet De La Hoya, everybody. I see these dudes, but it wasn't that to me, cause I was just like, I had fun boxing. It was fun.
Wow.
So then,
right, you was in that class, with De La Hoya and Shane, so you got a chance to see all those guys fighting the amateurs.
But Shane, they was little than me. So De La Hoya was fighting at like 125. Him and Shane was fighting at like 125.
Okay.
I was fighting at like 139.
Okay.
Yeah, I was fighting like 130. Yeah, 139. So
Okay.
they were smaller than me, but I would see them. But like I said, I didn't know because I wasn't boxing that long. So I only seen them like in the nationals. I seen them in like the Golden Glove Nationals. And I seen, if maybe in the ABF, the ABF,
yeah.
So it may have been in them national. I seen them name twice, but other than that, I didn't know who they was. But then I was seeing them. Then we went to like U.S. little tournaments, and then I got to meet Oscar and them. And crazy story when Chavez knocked out Mildred Taylor.
Yes.
So we was all in camp. I was all in camp with them, and so we all up in U.S. camp watching the fights. And we all
Colorado.
Yeah, in Colorado. So Oscar, what's his name? Chavez getting killed. We all, Oscar, he man like this. The next, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Man, listen, Oscar jumped up and went crazy, man. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Tell me about your relationship with your grandparents, man, because I know your grandparents raised you.
Yeah.
And I want to know a little bit about your relationship with your grandparents, man, and of course, a little bit later, with them supporting you, taking on the boxing like you did.
Yeah, so my grandparents, like you said, my grandparents raised me. My mom was young, so my mom had me, she was like 15.
Okay.
So, I lived with my grandparents, so I had a lot of uncles and aunts, so all us lived together. So that, I'm my only child, but them seem like my brothers and sisters.
Wow.
So I'm my only child, but them was like my brothers and sisters.
And all y'all lived together.
So my grandparents and then my uncles and aunts, and then me. So now I was the youngest of everybody. So I had another uncle. He was only 2 months older than me.
2 months
So
older
that's
than you?
Weenie. That's Weenie. So me and Weenie used to be. So
y'all moving
everybody
around
thought
like
we was brothers. Everybody thought we was brothers. So everybody thought I was the brother for all of them. They was my brother, even though they were my uncles.
Wow.
So me and Weenie was together everywhere, what I'm saying? Them, but like I said, my grandparents, they watched out for me, took care of me, taught me, how to treat people. And, I think, like I said, I think I had the best childhood ever. growing up, man, my childhood was beautiful. That's because my grandparents, my neighborhood I lived in DC.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, I can go 3 blocks this way, 3 blocks that way, 3 blocks this way, 3 blocks that way, and everybody know everybody.
Know everybody.
If you over that side doing something wrong, they gonna say, "Boy, I'm gonna tell your mama."
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it was in DC.
That's
So it was all love. You know what I'm saying? And
how did they feel? Once you told them that you wanted to box.
well, at first, you know how my mother definitely did. Somebody gonna mess your face up. You know how they be. Somebody gonna mess your face up, this and that. And then my grandma was like, "Hey, baby, whatever you want to do." And then, when I started doing it and winning, and then when I really started winning, started making money and started doing stuff, they loved it. My grandparents love. I would take them to Vegas with me all the time. And, gamble and have fun. We had a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Man, but tell me about this, bro. Which I didn't know. Is that you're a natural right-hander?
Oh yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Once I found out about that, I say, what? I say he's a natural right-hander, but you went southpaw. Why did you make that decision on switching like that with Dan?
So no, that was when I first. So like I told you, I used to box in the neighborhood in DC. In DC, I used to I always stood that way because my strong hand was up front. So
but that's everybody. That's one thing about it.
Yeah, I had my strong hand up front. Yeah. So then, but I can jab with this hand. I can hook with this hand. Go to body. So I could do everything. And then my defense was good this way. I just had to learn how to throw this hand harder. So then, by time when I stopped boxing, Dan was like, "What are you? You right-handed, left?" Right or the southpaw. I said I'm right-handed, but I fight southpaw, and he was like, "Oh yeah, let me see." So I started working the bag like that, moving. He said, "Well, if you like it, stay like that." And then that's what's it. Yeah,
you couldn't tell me that, bro.
But I could still box right hand, but I never did. I never used to do it in fights. If I turn right handed, because I just want to hit you with one good hard. Yeah, because this hand stronger with this hand. So if I hurt you, then if I turn this way, I'm trying to just knock you out. I would never turns Crawford to move back and forth.
Yeah.
I could do it if I wanted, but not like that.
Yeah, that's one thing about it, man. Like I say, with us growing up, I tell cats all the time, every time you see guys on the streets fighting, everybody's southpaw.
Yeah.
Everybody want to have that strong hand in the front.
Yeah.
Everybody want to have that strong hand in the front, but you kept it going there.
Yeah,
huh?
they got to. They got to.
We kept it going, man. It's crazy. So you turned pro. After 2 years of just fighting amateur. It's crazy. So you fought about probably like 60 fights, and you turned pro at 18.
I turned pro.
Why not try to, sit back and wait and probably try to, say make the Olympic trials and trying to make that situation happen? What prompted you just to go, just turn pro like that?
Well, when they didn't allow, when I won the gold medal in the U.S. Olympic Festival, I beat the number 1 and the number 4 cat in my weight class. So little Stevie Johnson was number 1 in the weight class. I beat him for the gold medal, and I beat my number 4 ranked junior welterweight. And so when I beat both of them, I'm thinking, okay, at least I get to go to the Goodwill game box off. Then we go for, but they was like, "No, you ain't got enough experience just now." I was like, "I got." So even in that time, I had fought a couple of 3-4 times overseas, with the U.S. team and everything. So I fought the Manila Cup. I fought a bunch of times. So I'm just like, what's going on? So I got to see the boxing how it was back then. If you ain't one of their people guys, back then, they gonna if you ain't one of their guys, you can forget it. So I was like, you know what? Forget boxing. I said, I don't want boxing. I was just doing it for fun. I promise you, I would have never thought I'd be a boxer, dog. Dog, you could never tell me. Dog, I was just doing it for the fun of it. Because I moved to Florida, because Florida, it was such a dramatic change from DC to Florida. It was like me coming from the city to the country. I was like, what the heck? And then, here everybody was jack strong. They was big. I was like, what the heck? I was like,
different out here.
Yeah, it was tough. And then the slang and everything was just so different. And I would laugh, but it was cool once you understood the slang, when they talk about it, make you laugh. You like, what he say? Spinner. What the hell is spinner? So,
spinner.
Yeah, man, it was stuff like that. It just had you laughing, man. But then once you understood it, man, it was like, oh, this shit crazy.
Oh yeah, you're a Florida boy for sure. So you turned pro. So you went ahead and turned pro, and you started fighting, you know what I mean, like locally first, right? You didn't have a major promoter. You didn't have
I
a
did. Not a major.
situation.
I had a local. I had a good
Yeah,
local
local
promoter who was
Okay.
doing, but he was doing good shows. He was getting televised fights on USA. So yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah,
yeah,
really?
Alessi Promotion. Alessi Promotion.
Promotion.
He owned a bakery over there in Tampa. He had a little
I
money.
know exactly
Yeah.
what you're
So
talking
Alessi
about.
Promotion when he first started, he started. So
Alessi.
yeah, he was doing. Listen, I was fighting. He had Larry Holmes. He was doing fights. He had
What?
yeah, he had we had what's his name? God dang not Roy Jones. Roy Jones, it was
Wow.
he had a lot of good fighters coming through there, man. USA back then USA Box, so I would be on the undercards on USA Box. So it was like, okay, I can see the TV, I can see this and see how I was like, I like this, right? I think this could be nice. And then I just stuck with it, you know what I'm saying?
So you had your first you had 10 or 15 fights here in Tampa, St. Pete, around the area until you said that you wanted to so what was the reason that you either were looking for or you found the brothers, right? The brothers out of France. The Curtis brothers out of France.
Yeah.
When they went ahead and they started taking you international with it, you just started fighting overseas. You know what I mean? Like, how you find those guys? How did you end up finding those guys?
So I was fighting in Tampa, like you said.
Yeah.
So then I had fought a guy. He had just fought Buddy McGirt. They went like 9 rounds. So then it was my first 8-rounder or 10 round. My first 10-rounder.
Mm-hmm.
But so this guy he fought like 9 rounds with Buddy. So I was like, okay. They like, well, this gonna be your first real test. I was like, cool. So bam, knocked him out. I think I knocked him out in the first round, second round. So it was like cool. So now I'm like, where the money at? I see everybody else getting all this money. Yeah. I ain't getting no money. So man, Dan, my coach Dan, he went over there. Yeah, Dan Birmingham said, I'm gonna go overseas. I get some promoters talking about they can pay you a lot more, you know what I'm saying, for less rounds, and then, maybe we can build our name there. And like I said, it was the best thing because it allowed me to become world known. Even though I wasn't known
here in the
States, I was known over there. So can you imagine? I would go. So I started going over there. So the first fight I had, everybody against me. It's just me and my coaches. That's the only people going for me. Everybody, the whole state of America
out here trying to fight.
Yeah, they going for. So I'm like, okay, cool. But only me and him can get in the ring. So I'm like, cool. Boom, we're getting in there, box of lights out of him. So then everybody like, oh man. So after the fight, they cheered for me.
Yeah.
So then boom, we came right back a couple of months. Then everybody they kind of knew who I was, but they put me up against a tougher dude. I might have stopped him. Then from then on, I was the man over there. You remember Lil Nassim Hamed and all them people, Chris Eubank. So I was over there with all them people. So I was fighting over there, but I'm that American everybody was talking about. But that was on their undercards. And me and Lil Nassim was cool, man. We hung out. Yeah, good dude, man.
So 1994. You ended up having your first title fight against
Julio Cesar Vasquez.
Yes, he was from Argentina. Your first title fight.
Yeah,
of course, you said that you lost that first title fight. Remember, how did it feel just to finally have that first title fight?
Yeah.
You had it overseas.
Yeah. And I was 20. I was like 21. So I'm going overseas. I'm fighting in. I might have been in Nice. We might have been fighting in Nice, France.
Yeah, Nice,
you know what I'm saying? So it was like I'm fighting this dude everybody's scared of. And I'm like, when I get in there, so I went over there and trained. This is why I messed up. I shouldn't have went over there and trained for a month. I should just because I used to just train here and then go over there for a week. You come back, train. But we was like, let's go get acclimated, stay over there. So anyway, I trained over there for a month. I kind of like wore my shoes down, my fighting shoes. So when I wore my shoes down a little bit, they was like, okay, we're going to get you a new sole on it. But when we put the new sole on, they put the wrong sole on it. So when I kept slipping with that sole because I can't get no grip. So it was like, oh, but it was okay, but that fight right there showed me that if I can have that kind of fight in the worst timing ever, awesome. Everything against me. I'm slipping and sliding, dude pushing, hold everything. But I still fought the fight, and I was still in the fight till the last round. He got like 5 knockdowns. He wanted to fight the last round because I was so tired. I never win 12 rounds. Never. That was my first. That was my, oh yeah.
Your first 12 rounds.
Yeah, my first 12 rounds. So I was banging with him. He was strong, and I was young. I just didn't understand it. But I said to myself, man, if I can fight and take this champion to this kind of fight, because going into 12 rounds is a toss up. No, and he done knocked me. He done got 3 knockdowns, and it's still a toss up.
Oh, still a toss up.
Oh yeah, right there it's toss. 12 rounds. All I got to do. I was just so tired, man. I was so tired. But he fought, and then so he won. He won. I said, cool. I said, I'm gonna get him. But that right there showed me that I got the heart, and I got the determination, and I got the skill. So now I just got to go back and train harder and make sure that everything's in line, and I can win.
Yeah, and there's one thing about it I was going to ask. What that loss did for you, because like a little bit after that you went on a crazy streak.
Oh yeah, that was it.
After
that loss, because that loss showed me. I said, man, I had this dude until the 12th, and he getting these knockdowns. I'm boxing them. It just. Certain things happen for a reason. So I said, you know what? Let me go back home, focus, train harder. Yeah. Now I know I ain't worried about nobody hurting me now. So now I'm like, okay, I'm destroying everybody. So that's when I went on that.
So every time you out there, you putting on the show, you start getting a lot more respect out that way too. Yes. And that was almost like second home for you. And this is when I believe that I really, found out who you was at the time. Because of course I was a young kid.
Yeah.
But there was a guy at our gym, man, when I was coming up. His name was Ian Garrett.
Ian Garrett.
And I remember, he was in the conversations with you and Bronco McCart, a lot at that time, from what I can believe. And I remember when you were going to make that title fight with Bronco McCart in '96. I remember all of us sat there and watched it as well. So how did that happen? And how did you feel going into that fight with Bronco in '96? I know you won that first world title with that. How was that? Because I know he was one of the only other champions that really give you a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Because the thing with you is,
nobody
tough southpaw, slick.
Want to fight.
Folks ain't want to fight you.
Yeah,
it's too much of a risk.
At that time, they didn't want to. So Bronco McCart was another dude that nobody wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Bronco was he a tough dude, man.
Yeah, he had the title though.
USA loved him because he was a white boy that can fight. He's a white boy that can punch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's a good looking white, so they liked him. So they wanted to market him. So now he got to fight me because I'm the #1 contender.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people don't understand. Only time I get title fights, I had to be the #1 contender.
Yeah.
If I was the #1 contender, nobody didn't want to fight me. So I became his #1 contender. And then I had to go to Monroe, Michigan. I never forget it. Monroe, Michigan. So we went to Michigan. He had a band bring him out. He had all that stuff. Michigan, we was fighting it, man. It was, he had Jackie McCallum. He had Jackie McCallum, I think, Callum, or whatever. Yeah, she was his promoter, so they was promoting him big time. So they just thought, he was gonna beat me. But, I did that back then. That's when I used to box a lot. So I was just sticking with the jab, moving, tagging him, and he just could never catch up. And he was just like, man, frustrated. So I beat him then.
Yeah.
So then
y'all fought 3 times.
Listen, I beat him then. So then he wanted the rematch.
Yeah.
We fought again. And I beat him again.
Yeah.
And then later on, they want to do another fight because nobody wanted to. So I was champion. Let me tell you, okay, really, people really don't know this about me.
We're going to get into a lot of
I want to tell you what, listen, really, I never really lost my championship belts. Even with the WBO belt, they robbed me. So I beat Bronco again 3 times. So
we're going to get in there. I know you're talking you're going to talk about it all, but man. So, after the Bronco fight, the crazy thing about it, I was doing some reading on, you were still fighting overseas even after, winning the title here in the States.
Yeah.
They still had you overseas fighting.
I couldn't get the big promoters to give me the deal that we wanted. So,
That's crazy.
You got some of these fighters that, they get that easy route. But it's okay. Man. For me, I had that long route made me who I was. Made me where I can go into other person's hometown and fight them and don't care. And that's what it was.
That's one thing about you, bro. You had somewhat of like that Marvin Hagler type of journey.
Yeah.
That when I talk to people, a lot of people about you, and of course they seen you on the on the highlight side of your career.
Yeah, but they didn't know
I'm
that.
like, listen, bro, I don't know. Wink was
Yeah.
Wink was out there. He was
Yeah.
out there fighting in them crazy countries,
Yes.
and he was making it do what it do before
Yeah.
y'all
Well, they
really
got to
heard
see
of
me.
him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like, you know what I mean? Going back to that, well, I know that you were about to talk about that you fought in South Africa.
South
Africa, you fought a dude out in South Africa.
Harry Salmon.
Undefeated.
Undefeated. Harry
Salmon.
Yep. Harry
And I
Salmon.
heard it was real controversial
Yeah.
how the situation happened.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
yeah,
explain
yeah.
that, how that situation happened.
So I take nothing away from Harry Simon. He tough fighter. This and that. We fought a good fight. Tough kid. He was just coming forward, but we was fighting. We was banging. But when I was hitting him to the body with shots, they talking about I'm going low. But I'm like, I'm clearly hitting him in the body because I was a very good body puncher early in my career. Very good body. So I was hitting him to the body with some good shots. So we kept going back and forth. So they said, you can't, we're gonna take a point. So now my coach Dan like, listen, you gotta stay away from the body because they're gonna try to take a point and disqualify you.
Yeah.
That's what. So I was like, okay. So now I got changed up a little bit. So it's boxing, slugging. Anyway, we go 12 rounds. 12 rounds. They go in there. They do the scorecards, this and that. They say, okay, it's a draw. I said, I thought I won, but cool. It's a draw. I keep my belt because before this, I told my promoters this is my last fight over here anyway. I said I can't. I said I gotta go back to the U.S. because I'm champion. Nobody don't know me. Yeah. Only people see back then. People knew you because the Ring magazine, so they knew my name. They didn't know the face. See, wasn't no social media. If you ain't on the network, you ain't no social. Nobody knows. But they knew the name. Everybody knew Winky Wright. So if I go somewhere in boxing communities and I say they like, who are you? I say, oh, Winky Wright. Oh, you Winky Wright. Oh, I heard you now. I say you number one. This you this. So that's how I work. But anyway, they called the decision. I went back to my dressing room. So we showered, I changing. So they come to my dressing room and say, hey, we need you to come back to the ring for a minute. Did something happen. I'm like, what you mean come back to the ring? They're like, yeah, we counted the judge on you lost. I said, y'all can't do that.
This is after the fight.
Nigga, not after the fight. After the fight, I done took a shower and I'm in the dressing room. You can't do that. Come on. I said, you can't do that. I said, so I called the WBO. I said, so once they did it, I said, I'm filing what's the name?
Complaint.
I appeal because I want the WBO. That's wrong. You can't do that. So then the WBO, they did it. They said, no, it's gonna stand. I said, okay. I said, I promise y'all this. I said, I never fight for y'all belt again. I said, you think right now, you looking at it like, well, we don't want you. You lost the belt anyway. I said, I guarantee y'all gonna want me to fight for that belt again. So I'm gonna let you go.
I'm gonna look around, but it's crazy. So you went through that situation. Did you feel that, okay, that was a big step back? Yeah, I mean, they may have me fight on these small shows again. You know what I mean? Like, what did it do to you, like, mentally as a fighter at that time? Or did you already kind of have a game plan? Listen, man, I'm just gonna do the same thing that Winky always does. But I go through any type of hard time, I'm just gonna put my head down and grind and get it, and I'm going to get to that point again.
And now it was more like, I was very disappointed. That was a big setback.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I told you, that was my last fight overseas, and I was like, I'm not coming back over here. It wasn't just because I didn't like those. I love the fans over there. It was just I got tired of going to.
Yeah.
I wanted to be home.
Yeah.
So back then when I was champion, and I would go to Vegas, me and my homeboys to see the big fights, and I should tell. I said, boy, one day y'all will be coming watching me. My name gonna be on that billboard. Man, go ahead, you tripping, dog. I was like, you know how your homeboy get. I said, what? So anyway, I said, we came back home. So Dan was like, you know what? I'm gonna hit Don King, right? So I think he hit Don King.
Yeah.
And then that's how we got the Fernando Vargas fight.
That's what I was gonna get into now. So you ended up coming back home after that loss. Then of course, like I said, you do what you do. You go and, like I said, you continue fighting, you continue winning. How was it to get that call, that big call to fight Fernando Vargas? And at the time, he blazing hot. You know what I mean? How did you feel watching that fight? I'll let you know that now. Everybody, our whole gym was at home watching that fight. I remember it vividly watching that fight with you and Fernando. You know what I mean? How did you feel once you got that call, you got that confirmation that the fight was happening?
Well, when Dan and we did it with Don King. So Don King, I guess he like this. Look, I want to test you right off rip. I guess
rip.
so. But I didn't care. I was like, he was like, well, look, I can get you a fight. They got a kid. He's 17, because I didn't know who he was.
You didn't know who he was at the time?
I didn't know who he was. I was like, man, they like, he's 17, 17 knockout. He doing it. I said, listen, he ain't fighting me. I said, I don't care who he fought, who he knocked out, he fought me.
He the champ.
And then they said, you want to fight? I said, heck yeah. He said, it's going to be on TV. I said, oh, it's going to be on TV?
I'll be
I'm dead.
Yeah, come on.
So boom, he did. So then they shipped it all the way to Washington, Seattle, Washington, something like that. We fought way out somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, why we way out here? But anyway, so we go way out there. So now, we doing the fight stuff, press con and everything, and then his little brother, he talking trash. His little brother, he gonna do this. Yeah, I'm looking at him. I say, dog, you got the wrong one, boy. I said, I'm about to beat the brakes off you, boy.
Listen, how was camp for that, bro?
The camp was great.
That's what I'm saying, cause you look.
Yeah.
Like I can say, I can remember that fight so vividly, bro. That was probably, especially at that time, that was probably your best performance that I've seen at that time. You was in hell of a shape.
Yeah, and it was like they got under my skin so bad that I changed my whole style just at the fight. Not because like I said, if you remember if you see all my fights before him, I was sticking to moving. I was a boxer. It was some fights like I was fighting overseas, man, they wouldn't like Floyd, they wouldn't even touch me. I would go through the whole fight and don't get hit. People, it was just like, it was so easy. So that's what they were saying, man, you make the fights, it's boring because it's too easy. They not hitting you, this and that. I'm like, but that's what it's supposed to be, hit, not be hit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I was like, okay, but he just kept getting on my nerve, and I said, he knocking her out. I said, you knocking her out because ain't nobody hit you yet. I said, but don't worry about it, I'm gonna hit you. I said, I promise you, I'm gonna see where your heart at. So I was talking trash to him. I said, you can talk all this. I said, but man, you gotta get in that ring. So then he know his little bro was saying, it was fun. But me and him cool now. But it was that's what it was. So I was like, I can't wait to get in the ring with him.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that fight, man. Because like I said, I think just from me watching and observing it, bro, I mean, you was keeping him on the back foot. You was pressing him. You was beating him on the outside, beating him mid-range.
And inside, I was tearing that
beating him up inside. We was all sitting there watching like, we about to do it. He about to beat Fernando Vaughn. Like this is the one.
Yeah, he was tough. I give it to him. He was tough. He came in throwing punches. He was throwing hard shots, but it was just hitting my arms, and it was like this was my first time holding my defense like that. Nobody never seen me fight like that, and I just did that just out of that fight. Cause I wanted to knock him. I wanted to be close to him. So when he punching, I can watch him, and when he finished punching, I can hit him because he right there. And then that's when I was digging to his body. I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep this cold. You gonna fight? I want to see how tough you are. So I said, we gonna fight 12 rounds, and he did, and I did. But I definitely, like I said, it was a great fight. Man. I thought I wanted to fight, but they gave it to him. But like I said, once again, that fight really put me on the map in the world now. Now everybody seen who Winky Wright is. Now everybody's like, man, that's that dude that got cheated against Bobby. That's that dude. So that's when the buzz started coming in. Now from that buzz, what we gonna do to become better now?
Yeah, man. So like I said, man, just like I said, like going back to that fight, man, I think, I mean, just like you said, you kind of just confirmed on it. Like that's kind of was the birth of that hot guard that you continue to use. And like I said, in that fight, man, like tremendous jabs, great mid-range, great, inside fighting, on that side as well. And it just looked like you were just so confident. That was the crazy thing about it, because the thing is with with Vargas at the time, he was running through everybody, bro. Yeah. And just to have somebody from back home that all of us was watching, it was so encouraging to be able to see you just look so confident in there. Like, come on. I just watched it again the other day. I'm talking about like, it was just, I mean, like it was just so refreshing, man. Fight, so I know that you just felt good, even though it ended up.
And it went the other way. I was mad, but it was like, I expected, because he is the draw. He the person that they trying to build up. See, back then, you even got HBO, or USA, or that was it. Wasn't really no big pay-per-view. It wasn't no pay-per-view for us yet. You know,
Yeah.
pay-per-views came a little bit later for, you know, like Sugar Ray Leonard and them was the big pay-per-view draw,
Yeah.
Mike Tyson and all them. But right then we wasn't no big pay-per-view. So it was more like if you can get on USA or HBO, then now people can see. So he was the draw for them. And I knew it. If I didn't knock him out or drop him, they wasn't gonna give it to him. But that's why I tried to put that pressure on him to force him to fight.
Yeah, so like within that time, of course, you know what I mean, like you promoted by Don at the time. So I know, you know, he got a chance to see like, okay, I got something here. And you know what I mean? Yeah, somewhat, you know what you was gonna say. Go ahead. Go down.
You're right. So that right here. So now, matter of fact, I had one fight before with Don. So I got with Don. He had a fight in Miami, and I fought. I knocked somebody out. Then he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get you a tougher fight, blah blah blah. So that's when they gave me that fight. So then after that fight, he had me on standby. So I'm like, you know, we
After
like
that fight?
After that fight, so we like, Don, what's up? What we gonna do, man?
That's
you know.
crazy.
And then he was like, I'm trying to get this fight, trying to do this, and trying to tell, but nobody wanted to fight me. So now they really didn't want to fight me because they saw me fight him.
Yeah,
so they was like, nobody want to fight. I was like, man, well, you gotta either give me a fight or you gotta let me go. So DK, he let me go. So I was like, oh, cool. He let me go, and then I went with then I started doing Jim Wilkes. So my man Jim Wilkes.
Jim Wilkes.
Yeah, so we start. So he like, okay, I know this Gary Shaw that's helping Jeff Lacey. So that's when I started letting Gary do some promotion for me, but I wasn't his fighter, so I can go wherever I want. But he was promoting the show, but I can do whatever I want. So that's when I started understanding the business more about how this shit work, and then the rest is just kind of history.
So a little bit after that, you ended up, continuing to go, and he ended up, winning the IBF, world title. Is that when you was kind of on the radar for Roy Jones to continue to see you, continue to watch you, and really try to, bring you close and try to sign you in that sense?
No, it didn't happen. But yeah, that's so Don King. I left Don King.
Yep.
Then I went to Bob Earl.
Not with Gary?
No, so I was with Gary. Yeah, I was with Gary. So you right, hold up. No, it was Bob Earl. You right, it was Bob Earl next. So Bob got me to fight with the kid for the IBF. So the IBF. So now I fought Vargas, but I'm still highly ranked. But this kid, he ranked, and so the belt, they like, okay, y'all can fight for the IBF belt. So I'm like, cool. So I went over there, beat him. Now I'm a 2-time world champion.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So now I'm fighting IBF. I'm beating. I'm winning. So now I'm with Gary. Now Gary Shaw is kind of helping me because Bob didn't want to fight. Bob wanted to do something, and I didn't want to do it. And I was like, man, I'm not doing it. Yeah. So they like, okay, I'm gonna let you out the contract. It's like, cool. Yeah. So we watched out. Me and him was cool. Yeah, we was cool. I'm like, cool. So then that's when Gary Shaw started doing this thing with me. Then we started moving like that with Gary Shaw, getting some fights, keep winning, fighting IBF, winning. And then we got to get the deal with Shane. So Shane.
So the situation with Roy didn't happen before Shane?
I think did it? I thought it happened. No.
Before or after Shane?
Yes, it did. Hold on. It might happen. No, though.
I think it did. I think it did because.
Hold on.
Because that's when you ended up. Because I was in the Shane camp.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm talking about you had the relationship with Jay. I thought that relationship with Jay came from.
No, so that relationship, Jay might have been in there. You might, but because it was still Gary Shaw. So Jay. So I didn't get with Roy. Did I get with Roy? Because it might have been because I know Gary Shaw. So Jim Wilson, Gary Shaw had to deal with Jeff and them. So that's how Gary Shaw started helping. But I got with Jay Prince. Yeah. And Jay Prince was the one who put me with Roy. Yeah. Because he was like, Roy. Roy, he needed to be shown more. Yeah. Put him on your undercard. Yeah. And then that's what Roy did, man. And
like how did you meet Jay? How did you end up meeting Jay?
So how did I meet? I met Jay. So Tony, I don't know, Tony Leonard. So Tony Leonard. Tony is Jay man. So he was doing the boxing stuff with Jay. So Tony came and talked to me one time and this and that, and he was like, "Yeah, man, you should get with us, Jay, this and that, blah blah blah. Let me bring you out. Then he'll bring you out here, and then you can meet him and this and that." So they flew me to Houston. And then, you know, I just like how
How
they
he
move,
was
how they
moving.
move. You know what I'm saying? It was nice. He was like the king of Houston,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
That nigga.
yeah.
And then he had everybody that was just everybody to respect everybody. They loved
Yeah,
him.
man.
He giving back. And I was like, dang. And I hung out, went out and trained a little bit, had a little fun. That's when I first met little Andre Ward.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, oh yeah,
first time I met Dre
you
out
met
there.
Dre Ward?
Yeah,
Okay,
I met Dre out there.
Because around that time, that's when we was going to get ready for the Olympic trials, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know Dre Ward. He was staying close to Jay because they was already having some great conversations about, you know, me like possibly signing them after the games, and that was around, like I say, that was around the first time that you kind of like really brought me into camp because I really looked up to y'all at the time, man.
Yeah.
Because like I say, Jeff, you know, of course he went to 2,000 games, and you know, like with me myself, I'm like, shit, I'm next up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you, Jeff,
that's how
you
it
know,
was.
You know what I mean? Roy, you know, I don't know if Tar was doing this thing at the time, but I remember it was you and Jeff, man. Y'all was like my big brothers at the time, man. And I remember you bringing me in. I'd do some sparring over in St. Pete.
Yeah.
I remember Tony being there.
Yeah.
You know, Tony being there from, you know, from Houston. And we got finished sparring, and Tony like, damn, you know, who this little motherfucker right here? That's what we need. That's what we need. Listen, we need him for camp.
Yeah.
So I know, you know what I mean, you ended up, you know, I'm locking down that Shane fight. You know what I mean? Tell me how that situation happened, you know, how it went down.
So the
Shane
fight.
In a situation that Gary brought to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gary, you're right, Gary was my pro. So Gary had Shane. But Shane, so then I had IBF, but Shane had the other two belts, and Shane he wanted all the belts. He wanted to be undisputed.
Yep.
So, but Tito knew that he had to fight me, but everybody was telling me, don't fight him.
Don't fight Wayne. Don't fight Wayne.
So it was going back and forth. So he was like, so they like, well, we're going to make him a low offer, then maybe he won't take it. So they made me like a low offer. I said, man, I ain't doing it for that. So then Jim and New Girl, so Jim went back and said, hey, you do it for this amount, we'll get it done. So it was low. It wasn't low, but it was low. Yeah. But it was my first big 7-figure payday. So I'm like, okay, shit, let me go. I like, I'll do it. So we did the fight, and Gary made it happen. And then me and Shane fought. And then it was a good fight. You know, that right there let the world know, okay, he
Yeah, but let's go at the training camp, brother. That's where I came in. That's where I came in at. You know what I'm saying? They brought me in.
Yeah.
You brought me in for Shane. You know, it had me and another kid from DC. What's his name? It was, what's it called? Fast Hands Gary or something like that.
Yeah, I got the cat name. Yeah.
Me and this kid, my first time coming to Houston.
Yeah.
Meeting Jay Prince, meeting Tony and everybody.
Yeah, we had a good time.
I'm talking about that right there, opened up my eyes.
Did it, man?
Something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had a good time out of Houston, bro.
Yeah.
And of course, just meeting Jay and just seeing how he was moving, seeing the respect that he was getting. I was like, man, you know, but it was perfect for me at the time too, because I was getting ready for the Olympic trials.
Mm.
You know, like, and my rival, you know what I mean, in the Olympics, I mean, just in like USA Boxing at the time was Juan McPherson's kid from Cleveland, Ohio. You know, 6'1", 6'2" southpaw. I lost to him before. Me and him going back and forth, being ranked number 1 and ranked number 2 in the country. And I knew I was going to see him at a trial, so it just came perfect timing.
Yeah, to be working with somebody tall and southpaw.
Man, perfect timing, man. And when I tell you, bruh, just being down there in Houston, man, just you know, like I say, just getting that work in, you know, with you. And we had some hell of a rounds. We had some hell of a rounds sparring. And I knew that it was my job to really get you in the best shape possible. Of course, for Shane, really giving you that look.
Yeah.
And then of course you're doing the same thing for me, man. So, you know, like going into that fight with Shane, you know, like what was the mindset for you? How did you feel? I mean, of course, me, man, I was like, okay, y'all might not know.
Yeah.
But Wink coming to beat some ass. Y'all might not know.
That was my mindset. So that first Shane fight, I said, man, listen, he too small.
He too small.
I say he too small. I'm
he
telling
look like
y'all,
too small.
they thought, but Shane could punch this, and I said, man, he too small. I'm telling you, cause I had got him real. I was ripped. Ripped. I felt like bricks. I'm talking about.
And then he was coming off of, you know what I mean, like beating Oscar those 2 times. So
he was on the high.
You know, he was on the high.
Yeah, he was on the high. You couldn't tell him nothing.
You know what I mean? He was on the high. So.
Yeah, you couldn't tell him nothing. So we was in there fighting. Shane was quick. He was quick, but I know how to stop the quickness. I'm gonna keep a jab on him because he like to jump. So if you watching me jumping around, so I'm gonna keep him all balanced. Every time he jump, I'm gonna hit him. I'm gonna make him reset. So he got to reset. He like this. He want reset.
Yes.
So now he can't. Now he don't got no rhythm. So he all herky jerky. You know what I'm saying? So then I started hitting him in the body. I could feel him shot, but he tough because I hit him with some body shots. I dropped a lot of people with these body shots.
Yeah,
I could hear him.
Oh, he dropping niggas all through camp with them body shots, man.
I mean, that nigga, he talking about, I was like, oh, this dude tough. So, you know, he had a little pop, but it wasn't like I thought, because I seen him knock a few people out.
Yeah.
And I was like, so then we was in there fighting, and we fighting, so then he was like, you know, he threw a little shot, and he thought it hurt me. I'm like, man, you ain't hurt me. He told me, because when he hit me, like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, what? I said, man, you can't hurt me. So he like, yeah, you felt it. I said, what? I said, man, here, go ahead. That's when you see me when I drop my hands.
That was in the second fight.
That was the second fight. Okay.
Okay. That was the second fight. In the first fight, first fight, you did what you did.
Yeah.
And like I say, the defense and the jab, still, I argue with people all the time, still even now. Me and Keith Thurman, when we did our interview, you know what I mean, we was having a conversation about it as well. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in the ring with a lot of people. I've seen a lot of guys fight, and I still talk about it now with a lot of guys. Even Andre Ward, we just spoke about it, you know, some time ago. Like, Wink has probably one of the best jabs in boxing ever. I mean, of course, you got Larry Holmes, you got Ike Cortez, but for some reason, man, the way that jab comes out,
right out, it come right back.
Come right out, it come right back. It's sneaky, and even if you try to reset up, it's gonna bop, bop, bop. It's gonna tap you with it every time, man. There's something special about that jab, and just me watching that fight with you and Shane. He just couldn't get away from it.
Just tapping him.
He just couldn't get away from it, bro.
And then I just wanted, because I knew he was quick, and I knew he had a good reaction. He could counter punch real good. So it was like, when you throw something, don't leave yourself open. So always keep an eye on him. And that's what we did. And, you know, where I just try to stay close to him and, you know, hit him with some good body shots and show him that I would. See, a lot of people think I can't punch. So it's not that I can't punch. I don't go for the knockout. You see, they go for the knockout. I go to beat you up. If you fight me, you be like, I don't want to fight him no more. You won't hit nobody said they pretty much want a rematch. Only one Bronco, but other than that, nobody, they don't say I want a rematch. And if anybody that I did fight, you ask them, can he punch? They will say he got a little pop. But I don't go for the knockout. So I just want to beat you up. And I want you to be like, I don't want to fight them no more.
Yeah. And that's another thing too with Shane, you know, going into that fight, you know, every time he tried to get off, because of course I understood because I had somewhat of a similar style, very explosive, but you had such a clad iron defense, bruh. And the way we used to talk about it is, you know, you used to have your hands up, but for some reason your hands and you had the longest, you know, this piece of your arm that covered everything. And it was just so hard to get through it, man. I just feel like just every time he tried to get off and tried to explode on you, he just could not get through that. And by the time that he exploded, he came back, he had a jab in his face. Bang, 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 bang.
Keep him all back.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just, I mean, it just looked frustrating. Of course, I was happy about it. But I'm like, it just looked frustrating for him. And just with him, you know, with all that pride, you know what I mean? He wanted to just try to call for a rematch after that, but I knew it was going to be probably worse.
When they say do the rematch, I was like, okay, you know, shoot, now I know I get more money. Okay, cool. So let's do the rematch, you know what I'm saying? And I knew he was going to train harder, so I trained hard. I ain't trained as hard as the first fight because I have fought him now. Now I know what he can do. So I kind of underestimated him a little bit. That would make that fight a little tougher, but I still realized that, okay, he can't hurt you. But, you know, he could just throw a lot of punches. So I thought maybe he was just going to try to score a lot of punches. But he got that killer attitude where he want to knock you out. So that's the only thing that hurt him with me, because if he maybe would have just tried to throw more punches, try to box, maybe he would have got a little bit. But him trying to slug with me, trying to catch me, knock me out, I'm like, you ain't gonna hurt me. So it
I mean, he couldn't do nothing else at the
yeah.
time, man. I mean, you could tell he trained real hard for it. He was a lot more focused for it. But I believe as soon as he got in there, like, man, it's looking like it's the
Here we
same
go
thing.
again. Yeah,
so I gotta try to click it.
Yeah, I was like, man, that ain't what happened. But he go. I'm like I said, I take my hat off to Shane because he really gave me the opportunity to really be in that world limelight. Because that's that fight.
That was a breakthrough fight.
What's the name fight put me on the map? Vargas. Just for the fans to see, like, oh, who is this kid? But Shane, both of them Shane fight made Winky Wright. That was just Winky Wright. Now, like I said, because that was when we go to Vegas. Now my name on the billboard. Now I'm the man.
Yeah, how did life change after that, bro? Because like I said, you fought the first fight, it was huge, and you just put an exclamation mark on it the second fight. Yeah. Of course, I got a chance to be around a lot of it too, man, and just seeing, just the way we was moving back then, and see the spotlight, see how the life changed. You know what I'm saying? How did life change for Winky right after that? Coming back home, traveling around nationwide.
Yes, now everybody know me. I went from nobody know me to everybody know me. Yes. So it was good. It was great. You know what I'm saying? But for me, what kept my mind, kept me down, kept me, calm, my kids.
Okay, yeah.
See what I'm saying? Because you got to look at it. So now I'm fighting, I'm beating everybody, but my kids, they just, Daddy, why everybody want to take a picture with you? Daddy, why this? Daddy, why that? Yeah. So I just be like, and now I'm messing. I don't know why they want to take a picture with me. You know what I'm saying? But that kept me like, grounded. Like, listen, man, you doing something people like and people giving you props for it. Be thankful. Always be respectful, and then that's how I always carry myself. So people tell you no matter now and then I'm the same as I was then. When I was on top, I'm the same way I'm right now. You say I'm gonna talk to you the same way. I ain't gonna disrespect you. I don't want you to disrespect me. And I just kept it like that.
And the dope thing about that time too, man, somehow, some way, like you kind of like integrated yourself into like the hip hop industry as well. It seems like everybody within that space, man, they gravitated to you too. And I think that you introduced me to Dame.
My dude, man.
You introduced me to Dame back then, and what's my man name that passed away?
Damien. That name Damien too. Yeah, Damien Ramirez, man. Damien had this. Let me tell you how I met Damien. So I'm in New York. This is the time that I'm known. Did I fight Shane yet? I don't think I didn't fight Shane yet. But I'm a little known. But Damien, I was going to get my credentials. They had HBO set credentials for him, so many credential things. So Damien down there getting some tickets or credentials for somebody. So little bald head dude. But he over there. So he come on, he said, hey man, my name Damien, talk. I said, okay, cool. What's up, man? Yeah, man, I was seeing you fight, blah, blah. I said, cool. So he's like, yeah, man. So, I do this, I get sponsorship. So this one, he want to get his sponsorship. So that's how we got together. So I was like, give me a sponsor. So he's like, cool. So he started giving me little sponsorships, and then he hooked me up with Dame Dash. That's how I got to do the state property and all that. So once I got with them, I did all that with Rockaware State Property, and then I get with my man Chris Lighty, who the Violators, who 50 Cent, and I got that whole crew, 50 Buster, L. So now I know all these people. So now, but then I also be Ja Rule and them. So Chris and Irvin got it. So now I know that whole clique. So I'm in that whole clique. So I'm mixing with all of them. I'm doing video with this one, doing video with him. And it was just lovely, man. It was a great time. And I'm glad them dudes, shout out to my dog, Chris Lighty. Shout out to my dog, Irv. And, God bless Irv and Chris got it. So it was just good, man. It was a good time. It was a good time, yeah.
And, like for somebody like me that was young coming into the game, bro, getting a chance. I mean, of course, I appreciate you at the time, man, for really just bringing me around a lot of that at a very young age, man. And I got a chance to see it. And a lot of that stuff just motivated me. And it just really just wanted me to, just be the best that I can be. And of course, me and Dame, we still got a great relationship now. You know what I'm saying? And just me just continue to make a lot of my relationships in the industry still now.
That's good.
Understand what I'm saying? So it's always been dope. So a little bit after that, after you beat Shane the second time, Now we got the big one with with Felix Trinidad. And I know at the time, they were trying to set up a Shane Mosley Trinidad type of situation. This is
Yeah.
and this
That was after the first fight.
Yeah,
for me.
okay. Is
Yeah.
that
So now we got to do. So now they trying to set up Trinidad and Shane. I mean Trinidad and Shane. Yeah. So if he win, then he gonna fight Tito. If I win, they told me I get Tito.
That's after the first fight.
That's the second.
Okay.
Yeah, that's after the second fight.
Okay.
So I was like, what? Because we went back to back. Me and Shane went back to back. So I was like, okay. So so I'm like, let's do it. So boom, I beat him. Now I get Don King. So now oh my God. So now I thought Shane fight was gonna be mega, and it was mega for me. But now this was
different. Different.
Dog.
And this was fresh off of him. I'm talking about he beating
Mayorga. He destroyed Mayorga.
He destroyed Mayorga.
Yeah, he did.
Matter of fact, I was at that fight. It was over in the garden.
Yeah.
I remember being there. It was Puerto Rican Day Parade. I still never seen nothing like it. But I've been to a lot of fights in my life.
Yeah.
And when I tell you how those people
love
come
that
out for
dude.
Trinidad,
They love that dude, dog.
They had that place so packed, and then afterwards they had damn near a parade in the streets after the fight.
Love that dude.
It was crazy. So we got a chance to make the fight happen, man. And the thing with this fight was when it comes to you in Trinidad, bro, it felt like we known we had like a secret weapon. Like we known something that nobody else knew.
Mm.
We were telling everybody at the time, everybody, Wink is about to destroy this man easily. Just watch. They looked at us crazy. My man looked at us nuts. I said, just watch. Wink is going to dominate easily. Nobody believed this man. And you know what I mean? Just tell us a little bit about that fight. How that situation was.
So when we went to train, started training for that fight, we knew we just saw him destroy Mayorga.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, he still got that punch.
Yeah.
He moving good. So, we got to be prepared. So, I bulked up a little bit more because now I get to move up to 160. I bulked up a little bit. So then I felt real strong. It's like, I had did a lot of work with my guard so that if he hit my arms, it just gonna stay there. So when he hit my arms, he felt like, God damn, I know he had to feel like these motherfuckers ain't moving. Just like so then I see him loading up, so I'm just catching the fight. So I'm catching the punches. So first round we go out there, me and my coach. So he was like, just use your jab and find your range and see how he punch. Feel his punch. So I said, cool. So first round I came out, threw a few jabs, then I let him throw his punches, boom, boom, boom. And I feel it. I said, I feel he got power, but it ain't devastating yet. So we go back to the corner. He's like, what's going on? I said, man, I don't know. I said, he hitting, but he ain't really doing that. And I could touch him when I want. He's like, okay, keep doing it. He said, but be prepared because they might be trying to set you up or something.
Yeah.
I said, all right, cool. Be cautious. So I went out there, second round. When I came back to the corner, second round, walking to the corner, I looked at him. I said, it's over.
It's over.
He looked at me. He's like, I said, it's over.
We said the same.
I said, I see everything. I said, dog, I promise you. It was like this fight, everything he did, it went in slow motion. I could see. So sometimes I would just stay there and block it, but then sometimes he'd throw it and I just move back. And it go, whoo. And I was like, is he slow? What's going on? It's just, but I was just I was in shape. I was ready. I was up. Them fights made you train harder. And it was just like, oh man. So then I started using the jab for them. But let me say before this, so now we got to do the press conference before the fight. So we got to do a press conference in Puerto Rico. We got to do one in LA. So in this time, I get to know him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he cool. So listen, we laugh. So he don't speak no English. I don't speak no Spanish. But everybody think I'm Puerto Rico and Spanish, and they come up to me talking. And so Damien, my dog Damien, so he was always with me. Damien was the intermediate. He'd tell him what this and tell me. So we laugh. So Damien knows. So it was like, okay. So now we go to Puerto Rico. When I tell you, we did a press conference. I think it was in the stadium, right? Press conference in the stadium. Boy, the Puerto Rican, they was
Man,
out
they
there.
love that guy, man.
Out, dog. I did, so I got to do TV. So now I'm doing that Puerto Rican TV. So Damien got to be with me, so he's my translator. So, we doing Puerto Rican TV. We doing all that. And they, Tito, this, how you going to do this? How you going to? So he'll tell me what they say. He'll laugh because they'll say something this. That. I said, well, it's going to be a great fight, Tito, great fight. I never put a man down. So then it was like, it's going to be a great fight. We're going to do what we got to do. And then, so now we come to the fight.
That was crazy.
Them people was jam packed in that, man.
Jam packed.
So when I came out, I just like, okay, this what it mean right here. This superstar,
this super fight right here. This
superstar fight, yeah. So I'm saying to myself, okay, just take your time and be smart and just go out there do what you do, and that's what we did. We just stayed up, be smart. So when I was jabbing them, I could jab them all day. I could touch them with the jab. So then I could really touch them with the left. But I was saying to myself, dang, maybe just, because some nights we don't got it. You ain't been in a fight where that night I just don't feel it. So that's why I said, well, maybe he just don't got it. So I don't want to try to overdo it and don't get a rematch. So I thought
that's what you was wanting.
I wanted. I was
remember being there. You was like, bro, I'm trying to get rematch.
Yeah, just keep jabbing them, let them. But people was like, they don't see he can't, ain't nothing he could do. So it was just like no need for a rematch.
Did you think it was gonna be that easy, bro?
I never thought it was gonna be that. I never thought I knew it was gonna be. Listen, I thought I was gonna beat him because I knew he went. So when he fought, he had to load up. He had to sit. Every time he sit, I'm gonna hit him. And that once I did that in the first second round, I say, oh, it's over. And that from that second round, I say it's gonna be easy. Dan like, just be careful. He can punch. And I can feel him punch. I can feel the punches on my elbow, but that's on my elbow. You're not finna hit nothing. So I'm like, go ahead. So it was just it was great. It was a great moment.
That's what it looked like, man. It's like I said, I watched it again the other day, man. It was just.
I just was having fun in it.
It looked like you were just having fun in it. You in there smiling. I see him doing his same rock, trying to load up. But everything bang, and it was bang.
Yeah.
It seemed like he just couldn't for the life of him get away from that. Get away from that jab at all. And then you start bringing straight left behind.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang. You smile and you looking around.
Then I see, so I'm jabbing. So I realized I busted his nose up. So I stopped jabbing him in the nose and started jabbing him on the forehead. Cause I didn't want to hurt him, mess with his nose. I just started jabbing at his forehead. So I was hitting him like that. But like I say, he was a cool dude. We would laugh and joke. And for me to meet him, and he was that before we fought, he was that icon, and he was popular, but he carried himself with dignity and carried himself. Yeah. So that's what I respected him for. That's why I didn't want to hurt him like that. I wanted to win the fight, but I didn't want. I wanted to be a great fighter. I wanted people to say, "Oh man, you fought a great fighter. You beat him." But I didn't want to, make him look bad. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that and I think that all of the Puerto Rican fans, they love me after that. They respect me for that. And then they'll come up, man, I hated you for the longest, man. You beat our man. They said, but we had to love you, what I'm saying? And then so after I fought him, I fought him. Then probably about 2 weeks later, I went to Puerto Rico.
Really?
Yeah, we was friends. Wow. So I went to Puerto Rico. I went to his mama house, sister house. So he take me all through the hood to the neighborhood. Dope. Yeah, so we became friends, man. So we had a good time. Went out there, hung out with him, and
that's dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
He was a good dude, man.
That's dope, man. It was a good time, though. But yeah, man. Okay, so a little bit after that, man. Of course, your career just started just take it to a whole nother level, man. And then Waylon drew up with Jermain, which was, at the time, Jermain, the young stud of HBO.
He had beat Bernard. He beat everybody. He was a champ. So I was undisputed.
He beat Bernard.
I was undisputed junior middleweight. He was undisputed middleweight. So I was like, okay, let's do it. I want to be undisputed junior middleweight and middleweight. So they was like, you a fight? I said, yeah, let's do it. So I was like, come on. So they made the fight, and Jermain was tough. He was strong.
He looked like he was strong.
Very strong. So I could see his strength when he tried to load up and throw that one right hand. But when I realized you ain't gonna hit me with that one right hand like that. You may hit me, but it ain't gonna be solid where it's gonna knock me out. So when I realized, okay, that's all he want to load up for that right hand. He'll throw that hook, but it's kind of like wide. Like, I'm like, okay. So then I realized, okay, get inside because he's long. Yeah. All he want to do is throw that 1-2. Yeah. So that's when I started getting inside, banging to his body. Yeah. Hitting him with the jab, banging to his body.
You kept him on his back for the whole time. Like even though he's he was a young, strong guy. Yeah. You kept him I mean, you know, like every time momentum, you know, kind of moved back in your favor in that way, you kept moving him back, you kept begging him that way. But like I said, he looked like he was strong enough to kind of go through the guard a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it was like he can hit through the guard, but all the power off of it. You may hit me, but it ain't hard no more. It's just a push. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, I'm taking the power from the guard, but it's just a push now. And then it was just like, I just wanted to get where I can catch him very clean. So when I catch him, a lot of times I couldn't catch him as clean as I want. But I kept digging to his body. I could hear him. I was going to his body. Do
you think the politics kind of played a role somewhat in that? You know what I mean? Of course, you come from that, of course, man. You know what I mean? Being able to fight a lot of them top tier guys, and you know,
not get the decision.
Not get the decision because you've been in the position to fight certain guys that the network, I mean, and these promoters were, I mean, that was their
fighters.
That was their ponies. That was their key guys.
Fighters.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, of course, sometimes you didn't get a nod on that. And I think, you know, with that fight as well, and that probably should have went your way. But like I say, man, you do what Wink does. Yeah. Just put your head down and keep on going. Right?
And then, so after that fight, I'm going to tell you, that fight took a lot out of me because it made me, I really wanted to quit boxing after that.
After that fight?
If you see how I walked out the ring, I was mad, dog. I was hot because now it's like, well, I done proved, So once again, let me go back. Like I told you, only time I lost my belt was when they cheated me in South Africa.
Yep.
So let's just say I lost that belt on the technicality. And then I come back, I win the WBA, WBC, IBF. I got all them belts. I fight, never lose them. And I get the belts up so I can move up. So I never lost my belts. So I move up to Jermain. I should have got the belt then. I didn't get the belt. Boom. So now, once again, all I'm just saying, I never lost my championship belt.
Championship belt?
No, I didn't. I gave them up. So
yeah.
People don't know that. You know, a lot of people don't think about that.
It's good that you're talking about it. But I remember, a little bit after that fight, man, I believe I was in camp for this with you. When you fought Mr. Ike Corte. And that was the fight that I was looking forward to as well. Because I was a fan of Ike, man.
Yeah, me too.
You know, because he had a machine gun up, a jab. Yeah. And I wanted to see how it was going to match up with you. And I remember us being in being in camp. And of course, man, every time we was in camp, man, we was getting it in, bro. Like we really had some tough sparring sessions. I still remember now, when we were in camp, for Ike Corte, and at the end of camp, when you would get ready to fight, I still remember at that time, I built so much of, like so much confidence just being in camp with you. And I believe I probably had like 6 pro fights at the time. I remember calling Lou DiBella. I remember calling Lou DiBella a little bit after camp when you was going to get ready to fight Ike. And I knew that he had Ike at the time. I said, Lou, listen, man. After Wink finished with him, I want it. No bull. I said, listen, man. After Wink finished with him, because I know Wink going to get him, he going to wash him. But I feel like, I'm out here competing with one of the best in the world. I want him next. But then Lou looking at me like, come on, man. You 6-0, man. Relax. You know what I mean? But how did you feel going into the Ike Corte fight, man?
So now...
And you threw almost 1,000 punches that fight.
Me and Ike go back along. So now, when I went overseas to fight for the Courage Brothers, Ike was their champion.
Really?
Yeah. So Ike was their champion. So I was right under Ike. So I would come over there sometime, but I never got to spar Ike, but me and him was friends, but I always wanted to spar him because I liked the way he fought, but I was like saying to myself, I could whoop him. I always say to myself, I could beat him, but they was like, he was tough. I was with him when he fought De La Hoya. Yep. That was a great fight. I was there for him. So I was there for Ike, that was my man, but I always wanted to fight him because I thought his style and my style will match.
Really?
Compete. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to see how that thing was going to match up. Because he had a machine.
Yeah, he got a piston jab. Pop out, stick it out. He shoot that right hand down the middle. And he just hold his guard. He tuck it like this. Yeah. He do it right here. I'm like, he just gonna give me your face.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? But he tough little dude, man.
Man, but that was a good fight with you, man. So let's get into a little bit after that. Of course, you fought Bernard, and Bernard. You know, like Bernard is Bernard. You know what I mean? Like, of course, you know, he did a good job, I believe, just staying out of range, you know, a good bit. But just being Bernard, you know, he's gonna hop in, he's gonna jump in, he's gonna make it rough. You know what I mean? He's gonna clinch.
The
and he gonna make-
headbutt and the holding.
And I seen
that
that
was really got me.
nasty
Yeah.
cut he gave you a little bit after that.
I could have for that could happen like in the second round.
Yeah,
I could have just stopped and made it a draw. See, and like I say, I went up 3 weight classes to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Because he fought tall, but he was so I see him in Tampa and he talking about, yeah, man, you should fight. You know, I beat your man. This is that. Talking about talking. Yeah. I say, we can fight. What you think? I said, he told me they won't let me fight. I'm too big. I said, man, listen, you make the fight and with me and you can fight. I said, I ain't scared. I said, dog, the only thing about me, I don't scared of nobody.
Nobody.
You round, I'll fight you. So he must have been joking. So he must have told his people, and then they did it. Send me a thing.
They reached out?
We're going to fight.
I
said, heck yeah, let's do it. Because at this time, I still ain't got nobody else to fight.
Oh,
So it was like, so now boxing is getting, it ain't getting as fun as more because I'm not fighting. Nobody don't want to fight me.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, I just want to get some fights in and get ready to get out of here. But I still wanted to beat Bernard because he was talking trash. So, but he was strong. But the only thing I didn't like, he kept headbutting and holding. Headbutt, hold. He coming with his head, boom, boom, hold, and then do what he can do and get out. Come over, and I'm telling the ref, we told the ref before the fight, listen, all we want you to know is if he keep coming in with his head, you got to penalize him. You got to make him stop it. He did. He break it up. Break it up. Never took a point, never did nothing. And then with the cut, but I could have stopped, but it was like, man, listen, man, you fighting one of the greats. You fighting Bernard Hopkins. We don't quit. We never quit. So ain't no quitting me. I'm gonna fight till they stop me. And then
is there anything that surprised you in that fight? You know, when it comes to Bernard Hopkins, of course, like I said,
his energy for him to be there. But I guess, like I say, with all that blood, I got a little weak at the end. But his energy, you know, surprised me. You know, I knew he was good. You know, far as just being sneaky. But you know what I'm saying. His defense was better than I thought.
Any of his movement, because I know that he moved a lot for that fight.
Yeah, his defense was a little better. His defense was better than I thought, but everything else pretty much what I thought. I knew he was gonna be strong. You know what I'm saying? He not no big puncher, but you know he throw good shots, but he not a big puncher. So like I said, I wasn't worried about getting hurt. Yeah, it was just like
it made the fight nasty, made the fight rough.
Yeah, he made it real. That was the nastiest fight. He kept holding headbutting, and I was just like, and then I'm like, come on, man, fight. Let's fight. Yeah, and then it was just, he took my game with that. But like I said, I still thought it was a good fight. And he won. Cool, I'm happy with that. Like I said, for me, I got to fight one of the best. If you really look at my career and who I fought all the best fighters in my era.
That's
around my weight class.
That's a fact.
And that's what I want to do. Listen, y'all, because if the networks didn't want to put me in there, the fans made them put me in there. If they wouldn't, because if it wasn't for the fans, I wouldn't have gotten the fight. Because the network didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And Roy Jones was definitely a big key part to that. Roy helped me get out there, help the people to see me. But if it wasn't for the fans, you know, Winky Wright wouldn't be who Winky Wright is.
That's a fact.
And I always love him for that.
And that's a fact, man. So, a little bit after that fight, of course, you retired, and then and then some time after you ended up coming back.
No, I never retired. It was just no fighting. It was just no fighting. Okay, I never retired, and then I got to fight. I think
Paul.
Yeah. So I like to talk about Paul. I like to talk. Yeah, you can talk about all that, man. I'm not that dude that don't only want to talk about my wins. I talk about the losses too, man. It's part of the game. So listen. Paul Williams, so they was like, so yeah, I ain't fought in like a year and a half. Like a year and a half. I ain't fought like a year and a half. So I think so. Paul, they was like, we got this kid, and he's like 6'3", and I'm like, God dang,
crazy.
So they like, well, this the only fight you got because nobody don't want to fight you.
That's crazy.
That's how it was, though.
Your whole career has been like that.
That was the only fight. So listen, I fought the most number one contenders. As champion, I fought the most number one contenders because nobody else would fight. I wasn't getting other people say I want to fight. So I had to fight my number one contender. But anyway, Paul Williams, you know, I take my hat up, Paul. Dude threw a lot. I never
million shots,
dog. And so for me being on for that long, I said he gonna get tired. Because he ain't throwing hard shot. He just I'm like, he gonna get tired. I'm just gonna wait and I'm gonna try to catch him with the hard shot. But the dude, he stayed busy. And it was just like, okay, I can't beat him, Sean. Just throw a lot of punches. He got me this time. So when that happened, I take my hat off to him, and then it was cool. You got to be a great winner. You got to accept a loss. If you lose, you lose. That's part of the game. Everybody ain't gonna win.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't gonna be Floyd undefeated. Everybody ain't gonna be that. But if you win with dignity, you can lose with dignity. So I take my hat off to people. You know what I'm saying?
The same thing with Kid Chocolate, man. I think you was in a space at the same time that you've been fighting for a long time. You came up the rough way. You fought a lot of great. I mean, you fought the best world champions in your time.
Yep.
And then towards the back end, of course, you got to fight these young guys.
Yep.
So it's very easy to be like, all right, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I done did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I done did it, man.
That's what it was. So,
yeah.
Kid Chocolate fight, I almost didn't fight that fight. Because I couldn't make the weight because I wasn't really into the fight. So it was hard for me to make the weight because first of all, I didn't know who he was. And honestly, I never heard of him. So I never heard of who he was. So But they said this kid, I was like, cool. But I never heard of him. But you know what I'm saying? I couldn't get up for the fight. So it was just like going into a fight, just going through the motions. But then he was a good little fight, quick, you know what I'm saying? And I thought it was gonna be strong, but the power, but I didn't really feel the fight. But I couldn't get off. The whole fight, it was just like my arms I was trying to throw the punch and it just wasn't letting. Only thing I could throw a little hard was to the body. But going to the head, it was like slow. I was like, what? I said, in that fight, I said, this
it's a wrap. It's over.
It's a wrap.
It's done.
So you know what I'm saying? So then when he did catch me pulling out, boom, he caught me pulling out, but it just knocked me down. It wasn't hurting. I just did I got right up. I laughed, smiled. I said, good shot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Respect. And I like it. Me and him, I'm cool with him. I like, he cool dude.
Yeah, that's what you know, man. Like I said, like even with me, bro, it's like, we get, you get good days in the gym from time to time, and you sit there and be like, man, listen, you still feel like it's the same to a sense, but the thing with it as well, man, jumping into those training camps after you done did it a million times.
Tell them.
That's the thing too. I don't think people really realize and understand that.
Yeah.
When they see us, make these fights, or we decline fights that we don't want to fight, especially like on the backside of our career. It's not so much the fight. It's not so much the person.
Yeah.
It's the training camp. It's everything that we got to go through to get up and prepare for that. You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
Just us as fighters, like, I don't think that we're built to be scared of anybody. We're ready to fight anybody.
Yes.
But it's the training camp and everything we got to go through to prepare for that. Y'all just seeing one night of fights.
That's it.
We in that thing sparring.
3 months.
We in there sparring 3-4 days a week. These guys are trying to knock our heads off.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? 2-3 a day training.
Yes.
All these different type of things. So it's a different type of situation, man. So when we finally, put ourselves in the space to really try to hang it up, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
so
saying?
when I walked away, I told them I ain't coming back. So they thought I was joking. I said, I'm done. I said, well, I'm done. And then my girl, and then used to be like, baby, but what if they offer you this? I said, look here, man. They got to offer me some money. They're like the mob. They got to offer me something I can't refuse.
You can't refuse, man. Money's all good, but you can't.
Yeah, so I couldn't. So I was like, man, I'm not coming back. You're not going to embarrass me. I'm not that dude. So I just left it alone. That was it.
Yeah, that's it. So let's get to these last few. What's your thoughts on the state of boxing right now when it comes to all the money that's on the table? When you talk about social media, when you talk about some of these fighters, of course, you've just been in the game for so long, and just seeing how everything's been playing out for the last, 20, 30 years. What do you see? What do you think about the state of boxing right now?
Well, I think, we got some great fighters out there. Far as I'm a big Shakur fan, and you got Keyshawn, you got what's the kid, dang, little kid be knocking everybody.
Tank?
No, Tank, I love Tank. Tank, bad boy. But Abdul Mason.
Oh, Abdul Mason.
Abdul Mason, never. You see what I'm saying?
Nice.
So we got these kids on the background. And boxing, only issue I think with boxing is everybody trying to run for that big money.
Yeah.
And it's taken away from the journey. Everybody want to go from here to here, but that journey is gonna make you who you are.
You think Floyd did that, man?
Well, Floyd just he manipulated his game to his advantage.
Yeah.
So I can't be mad at Floyd. Shit, Floyd. If I could have did it, made that kind of money, I'd be happy too. So, but everybody won't be a Floyd. Everybody not gonna be that kind of defensive fighter that because at one time. When I was champion, nobody wanted to see Floyd fight. Floyd,
talk about it, because I remember back then. I remember back then, like he was over there with Jay.
Yeah.
Instead of saying like the Pretty Boy era. A lot of people didn't even want to, but they didn't even want to see Floyd fight.
And he was a bad boy.
He was a bad boy back then.
Yeah, I was like, shit. I don't know what y'all talking about. Floyd a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? And they just want to see us, but I was like, man, Floyd a bad boy. I always took my hat off to him because I seen the skills he got. I seen the motivation. I remember he used to go out there and run at nighttime when he running down the strip and I'm hanging out in Vegas. I'm like, this boy crazy. But that was his motivation, man, and he did it, and it worked for him. And I'm like I said, I'm happy for him, man. And then the little situation he in right now, I don't like that for nobody. You know what I'm saying? People, it's so bad that our people always want to clown people when they down. I understand that he might show it off and this and that.
That's
but
what I'm saying. But
if he got it, he just showing it off. But don't.
That's all I'm about to say. Do you think that he probably brought a lot of the criticism on himself because he's always bragging about his money. He's always praised it to a sense. But
still, we should, like I said, you shouldn't throw stones because we all live in a glass house.
That's a fact.
He made the money, but that's what made him flamboyant. That was what made him Money Mayweather, and everybody bought it. So he put that image out there, and he probably just made a few different bad investments or this and that or whatever, and somebody got over on him, and now it's coming to show. But like I said, he still made so much money. People can be like, yeah, he did this, and he gonna be broke. This. So what? Why? His broke and your broke is two different brokes.
Two completely different.
You know what I'm saying? So stop hating on him, man. I be seeing people out there always asking me, so what you think about Floyd? I said, first of all, Floyd made more money than anybody in your whole generation. So he did things that nobody else could have did in your gen. So why you want to talk about his downfall? Talk about what he accomplished in boxing. He a hell of a fighter. He did what he had to do. He made a lot of money, and he had a lot of fun. And now, like I say, man, I wish the best for him. I hope whatever he get out of the situation he in, and he good to go, man. Because I don't never want to see nobody downfall. Nobody, man. I want everybody to prosper, especially if you're boxing, because that's a tough ass career to be having, man.
Tough ass.
A lot of motherfuckers don't make it out.
A lot of cats don't make it out. A lot of cats don't make no money. A lot of folks out here, they get beat up for damn near nothing, man. So it's definitely a tough sports, brother. So, man, let's give I think we got 2 or 3 more. Who's your favorite fighter that you like to watch right now?
Right now, I like watching Shakur. I like Lord Abdullah Mason.
Yeah.
I like Tank, cause Tank a beast. Tank gonna make a fight. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like about Tank. He gonna come to fight.
Every time.
Yeah, he just a bad little boy, man. So.
Yeah, I hope he make it out of his situation. Yesterday, matter of fact, I think he's supposed to be coming back this summer sometime for
That's crazy how it just that's one thing about I'm not saying his team, but people around him, man. Some people you got to have that person to tell you, man, listen, man, you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't do this, or let's try not to do this. Yes, you're making a lot of money, but money don't make you invincible. And if the wrong thing happen, they could hinder you. And you know what I'm saying? Because Tank ability, he a hell of a fighter. Shorty tough. He got the power. He got what people want to see. He packed it because they know somebody gonna get dropped.
Yeah, he got that thing about him, man.
So I'm saying I like the kid, man.
Yeah, but it's hard sometimes, man. When especially coming from, in the city where we come from, you got that type of talent, and they just give you a bag of money. You know what I mean? And you get a lot of cats around you that come from the same place you come from, with no type of guidance. You know what I mean? They don't got no real direction, but they got a pocket full of money. So they really just want to live the life that they've always wanted to, the life that they see on TV, like the life that they. Probably see. I'm growing up with all the dope boys around the city. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, so it's kind of hard. But I hope that he makes it out of this situation.
I hope we do too.
And, I hope we get ready to see him back in the ring, because he's definitely one of my favorite guys that I like to see coming up there now too. So, Do you see any fighters right now that has a similar Winky Wright style that you see?
Yeah,
right now?
I like Lil Lamar Peterson. I like his little.
Lamar.
He holds his hands. Yeah, he holds his hands up. Gets good.
Yeah,
There was
Lamar.
another cat I forgot. I seen. Yeah, I seen. A lot of people kind of just make sure they keeping their hands up and coming forward, making a fight, and that's what it was for me. It was different. I guess I'm blessed to kind of like change how people fought.
That's a
If you
fact.
think about it, you know what I'm
Definitely,
saying? People, after that, everybody started doing Winky Wright. Everybody stopped.
Everybody talking about the Winky Wright guard.
So yeah.
Everybody.
So like I say, it's a blessing, and what I'm saying, I'm just happy that boxing allowed me to, be able to be seen on TV, be able to take care of my family, friends, be able to do the things that I've done, and right now I just enjoy life. You know what I'm saying?
That's it, my man. So you definitely inspired me, my boy. And I know that you probably about to get ready to get on the golf course again here in a minute. Listen, man, y'all need to understand, Winky is a real PGA golf player. We need to get him on the PGA here soon. This man really plays his thing and playing at a high level, man. But I want to appreciate you, bro, for being a big brother to me, man, and always inspiring me. Man, and just helping me, throughout my career as well, man.
I never told you, I'm proud of you, dog, because like I said, I remember you, little knucklehead, man. The real little tough, little strong little dude, man. And you put in the work, and I used to tell him, I said, Shorty, tough boy, y'all gonna watch out for him. And then people like, nah, who is that? I said, man, watch him. I said, him and Keith. Say they ain't really. I said, boy, him and Keith, y'all gonna watch out for him. And everybody knew Jeff, but I said, these two do they next. And they was like, yeah. I said, I'm telling y'all. And then y'all did y'all thing, man. And I'm proud of you, dog. For real, you always toughed it out, my nigga. So just keep doing what you're doing. I hope this blow.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Well, always.
Appreciate you, my man. That's Winky Wright. We're wrapping up, baby.
Yes,
sir. St. Pete's on.